Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm so excited. Um, so, it's been a while since I've actually done an ABC Studios. I've been a little busy. I just had a new baby, moved all around. I'm in Mexico now. There's so much fun stuff going on with All Black Creatives, and I'm so glad to have you guys join us. Today, we're talking about AI. We're designing for our brand with Adobe Express. We have some special guests today, so I'm very excited. Today, I'm going to show you how to create branded assets that strengthen your brand, and I'm going to show you how I used Midjourney and Notion AI to design the branded assets actually for this event. Um, I before we jump in, actually, I wanted to go ahead and say that the first half of this is going to be us kind of walking through Adobe Express, and then you're going to get to meet our speakers. It's going to be super fun. And if you have not already followed All Black Creatives on Instagram, please do that. We're going to be posting more updates about all of this, and we love to stay in touch with you guys. So, all right, let's get into it. So I'm Danielle. I'm head of community for the All Black Creatives Foundation, and I'm an Adobe Express ambassador, which is why if you've been following our posts on Instagram, you've seen me do a bunch of like cool reels. You see me do a bunch of posts just about how to use Adobe Express for your brand. And so today we're going to mesh that with artificial intelligence, which is this is going to be great. Um, all right. So I just kind of talked about this Adobe Express workshop, and I wanted to talk to you guys about how I actually learned more about how Adobe Express is integrating AI in what they're doing now. And one of my favorite easy things to jump into with that is their logo maker. And if you are, this is very specifically like if you are a brand or a small business owner, like this is a really awesome tool, and I love it, and I really want to show you guys how it works. So this is just a quick little screen grab of how I used the prompt maker. Um, you basically get to put into the prompt the name of your business, your slogan. So I put in it's a coffee business. It's called Happy Bean, and my slogan is Rise and Grind, which is very cool. And it just like prompted all of this. I'm going to share my screen with you guys and show you too in a second. But I just want to say hello to everybody else who's joining. Yes, I love seeing all of your faces in here. This is great. Um, Kim, I'm gonna add you for 1 second because you're in here, and I wanna I wanna wave and say hi.
Hi, thank you so much for having
Yes, of
me.
course. I'm so excited that we're gonna get to chat today. Like, you guys, I actually met Kim at Adobe Max. It was my first Adobe Max actually, and I mean, Kim was just doing her thing. Like you were actually presenting. I think you did like
Yeah,
some
it
really
was my
awesome.
first time
Yeah.
too.
Oh, I didn't realize that was your first Adobe Max. That's epic.
Yeah. And it was wonderful to meet you there and just like connect and go through all of these just like share our own personal stories.
I know. I had such a great time, and I'm excited that you said yes about this. That we're going to get to spend some time. Okay, I'm going to jump in and show people this Adobe Express AI stuff. I'm so excited. You and I are going to chat in just a few minutes. Thank you again for joining me.
Thank you.
I'm going to, yeah, for sure. I'm going to hop back to the screen really quick. All right. So I'm going to share my screen with you guys so you can see what I mean with the logo maker. I hope my background isn't too loud for you guys, but you know, we do what we can. Okay. All right. So this is actually live. So I'm going to show you guys how I did this. And I'm going to send the link to you guys too in case you want to use this later. But for now, let's follow along. All right. So it says, tell us about your logo. And I said my coffee bean my coffee business is called Happy Bean and my slogan is Rise and Grind. You can change this to literally say whatever you like, but we're going to walk through this. Can you guys see this okay, or is my screen too small? Okay, hopefully you can see it. All right, I'm going to keep it pushing. Okay, so the style that I chose was bold because I thought that would be really fun, and I love that. So you can choose between a bold style, an elegant style, modern, or decorative. Now, this logo maker is a really good example of how a lot of AI generation works. You have a prompt, this one's a little bit more visual, but you get to choose your style and your aesthetic. Um, and this is really cool. So you get to choose an icon. So for me, since it's a coffee business, I'm going to choose a cute cup that I feel like represents what I'm going for. Alternatively, you could also type in coffee mug, you could type in coffee beans, and you have a ton of options here. I'm going to go back to coffee mug though because I saw a cute mug that I like. And actually, I really like this one. Okay, so then I'm going to just hit next. My options are very cool. Um, I chose bold, so it gave me a lot of really cool color combinations. And I'm gonna go with this one actually. Although I like this one, I think it would be cool to change the color. And so you can hit the color button and it's going to give you a bunch of different color pairings. But don't worry, you still can edit it even further than this. I'm going to go with this one. And I actually like the bold font. So, ooh, that's actually really nice. And then as you scroll down, you can see what it would look like to use this logo as, a photo on social media. Here it is screen printed as a graphic on a t-shirt, on your website. And that's a really, really cool way to use AI and have it integrated into Adobe Express. And then when you hit download, it's going to download this for you as a PNG with like transparent background, so you can use it like this. It'll also give it to you in the colors that you chose, and then usually black and white as well. But this is actually where we're going to jump into Adobe Express and we're going to customize this. All right, we're going to continue. Okay, so full transparency, I already did this, and that's kind of how you guys can see it in my other visual. There's a totally different logo. I went a completely different direction, but I wanted to go through it again and have some fun with it. And as you can see over here to the right, it says All Black Creatives, and this is referring to the brand. However, this isn't All Black Creatives, this is Happy Bean. And so one of the really cool things you can do in Adobe Express is you can build your brand, and you can also create more than one brand. So I'm going to show you actually what that looks like. So we're going to hit these three buttons here. We're going to click Switch Brand. And here are all the brands that I've actually created in Adobe Express. And we're going to switch to my Happy Bean brand that I created just for you guys. And I'm going to show you here what the logos look like inside that brand. This is when I had kind of a yellow color palette, really nice. But I'm going to add this Happy Bean logo. And as you can see, it just added it right here in the bottom. I can make it a little larger if I want to. But depending on what I'm making, this is a really cool way to jump in. Now, this is not a very developed brand. I'm going to show you guys one that we published just a few days ago, actually. It was very, very cool. And if you check our Instagram, you'll see it. This is the brand that was created for something called Show Me the World Day, and it's by the Show Me the World Project. Here's just a cool example of what creating a brand looks like in Adobe Express. Here are the logos. Here is the color palette. Here are the fonts. And so when you're in Express working on a project, you can easily apply your brand to whatever you're doing. And here are actually all of the brands that we're working on. And it's super fun. It's super fun. Hold on, I'm going to hop back in here with you guys. Okay. All right. So, oh, you don't, are you not seeing what screen do you guys, are you still seeing my screen? Maybe? Okay. Well, um, that was just like a quick intro to using the Adobe Express logo maker. Um, and if you're trying to create a logo, that's a really great way to start. It gives you a lot of great options. It gives you a lot of places to start, and that's kind of what one of the best uses to me of AI is, and it's making your job easier. So it's taking out a couple of those steps along the way and giving you a place to start. And something else too that you can do, and this is really fun, is that you can use Adobe Color, and I'll show you guys that. So this is Adobe Color, and you can use this to create a color palette for your brand. Um, Honestly, I typed in, yeah, happy cafe, and it gave me all of these images. And from here, you can download all of these color palettes. It's really, really cool, which also means you can upload your own photos. If you feel like you've taken a really great photo that speaks of yourself or speaks to your brand, you can upload it to Adobe Color, download it, and then you can actually use those colors in Express as you're building your brand. Um, I'm going to show you guys. Yeah, so that's a really fun, just like quick jump in of Adobe Color. Now, I'd love to show you guys how I used um, Adobe Express in creating the assets that I made for this event. Um, so, this is Midjourney. Midjourney is an AI generative software, and I'm not the expert on AI. That is some of my awesome friends who we're going to chat with later. But the really cool thing is that it's simple enough for me to use, and that's what I loved about it. And whenever you are creating an asset for your brand, you want something that speaks to yourself. You want something that is, okay, this really reflects who I am, or it reflects the message that I'm trying to get across. And that's what I actually got to use Midjourney for. So I typed in a prompt. Here, I'll go back. This is actually what Midjourney looks like in the Discord app, which is where I use it. And I typed in a prompt that said, a multiracial woman with glasses and brown eyes, working at her computer remotely in a tropical location. Tropical ocean views with post-it notes and colorful paper designs. As you can see, I did not skimp on my descriptors. I used a lot of descriptions for this, and then I said realistic photograph, and it generated these 4 images for me, and I liked them. And I really liked the one in the top left. And so that's the one that I upscaled and kind of wanted to see another version of that. And that's what you see in the background of my first flyer. This is the first flyer that I created for this event. This one actually went out to quite a few of you, so you've already seen this image. And here, I'll move my face so you can kind of see the bottom of it. But I loved this, and I thought this was really cool. I put the prompt in there for you so you can kind of see. But this was just my first shot at it. And so I uploaded it to Adobe Express. As you can see, I applied my brand down here in the bottom. I've got my logo. I added the Adobe Express logo, put in some cool fonts, and honestly, that was it. I had a branded asset that I felt like matched both the event that I was doing and then also the All Black Creatives brand. And then from there, I thought, okay, cool. Let's play around and take it a little bit further. And so these are completely different images. I went a totally different direction and typed in brown hands holding an iPad, designing a brand. And this is what that generated for me. And I was like, whoa, these images look so realistic. Like, one of the funny things about Midjourney is the hands are always a little wonky. And so if you're ever trying to see if it's an AI image or or not, sometimes Midjourney really gets the hands kind of strange. You can kind of see here. But these images were incredible, and I love them. I have them saved in my library to use as other assets, but I wanted to continue. And I thought, okay, cool. These are awesome. Let's keep playing around. And so I went a completely different direction. As you can see here, we have a brown skinned woman outside with orange, yuzu, pomelo, tangerine. Those are just all citrus. Um, blossoming citrus trees in the winter illustration. I went a completely different direction. I actually loved this visual so much. This is what I decided to go for. And if you signed up for this event with our Google Docs, or if you found it through one of the other chats, you've seen this image. Also, if you joined early, it was the banner image. And so you'll be seeing more of it. And here are three of the finished products right here. Um, this one on the left is the one that you just saw. Uploaded it to Express, changed my fonts a little, added my brand. I love this one. The one in the middle actually is a completely different AI engine. This one is Dream. Wombo, if you've used that one before. And then the one all the way on the right was Midjourney again. And I just had fun. This is just me like messing around, looking at different types of images. Someone says they were afraid to try AI. No, I totally get that. Yeah, sometimes it can be a little bit freaky. Um, I'm gonna add. Oh, I think we just had. Hi, Kim, you're back on screen. But I was actually looking for Liv, and I think I may have lost her, but that's totally okay. I was going to ask you a question, Kim. Um, if you have used Dream, the one in the middle, Dream by Wombo, it's like one of the most simple, I feel like one of the most simple ones, but I was curious to know if you have used that one at all.
I have used Dream by Wilma. It's been a while, but I think it's like the easiest to use. When we think
Mm-hmm.
of using, a lot of people aren't so used to the fact that Midjourney is accessed through Discord, and Discord is a whole beast to understand. But using Dream by Wombo is a lot easier than like setting up your Discord and just like knowing what a prompt is.
Yeah, I agree. It's like there's honestly that's the one that I use the most with my kid, and he's 6, and like his favorite thing is just like I don't know. The other day he was like the dragon fairy king, and like we just put that in Dream by Wombo and just came up with some like truly insane stuff. But yeah, I think that one's definitely the easiest in my opinion to use for sure. Um, but yeah, so you guys, this is you kind of see now step by step how I did this. I'm gonna show you. We're gonna move back to Adobe Express so I can just move some things around for you and show you how it is. Oh, I think we have Liv. Liv, I would love for you to be able to say hi. I'm gonna pop you in really quick before we jump back into Express. Let's see.
Hello.
Hi, how are you? Hello,
Good.
hello.
Very happy
Please.
for the
Oh,
conversation. Can you hear me?
yeah, we can totally hear you.
Perfect.
Can
Yeah,
hear
I,
you,
I,
see
I just
you.
heard you mention Dream, and I've never heard of it before.
Oh, yeah. Okay, guys, I'm trying to make my face not the biggest one on the thing. So,
Hey, Kim.
Hi, how are you doing? Good to see you.
I know I've been saving the introductions for a minute, but I really wanted to just kind of have you guys in and just, chat about it a little bit because um, it's so funny that we can use AI so practically, I think, and it can definitely be a little bit scary. But yeah, Dream is a really, really easy, simple one. And again, you guys, if you signed up with your email address, I'll send you guys the links to all of this stuff. Actually, have a whole Notion document. Kim, I think we maybe talked about Notion a little bit. I can't remember, but yeah, I'll have all those resources for you guys. Okay, Liv, Kim, hi. See you guys in another second. I'm gonna jump back into Express. Thank you. Okay, guys, I'm gonna show you actually kind of more of a step by step of how I did this in Express. Um, please let me know in the chat if you can't actually see what I'm doing because I think the last one that I did, I was kind of sharing my screen, but not quite. So make sure that you guys can see. All right. You guys seeing me? Seeing everything? All right, cool. I think we're gravy. All right, so this is the flyer that you all just saw. Um, the really cool thing about creating things for yourself in Express, again, is that you can completely customize it and edit it. And in the same way that I generated this background image in Midjourney, Adobe is really like integrating the same kind of generative AI, and soon you should be able to generate templates in Adobe for yourself in the same way that I kind of did in Midjourney. I have some things to send you guys too, just about Adobe Sensei, and please check those out. Those will be rolling out soon. But yeah, so here we are. Let me see. Okay, perfect. So this is the entire project that I have. You can kind of see now all of the different iterations that I came up with of this flyer. And if you joined early, you saw this image that says streaming March 8th, 5 p.m. This was the waiting banner. And one of the other really cool things that's actually AI is the quick resize, which is, let's say this is the size that I actually used on Instagram stories. But let's say I wanted to change the size of that and I wanted to make it the vertical portrait for Instagram. I wanted to make it horizontal. Also, yes, some of these are in Spanish still. My browser's been in Spanish all day. But yeah, that's a really cool thing. You can just hit the resize button and it's going to resize your image in a way that you can still use it and it's not like grainy and it's just really fast. Like, I don't know about you, but if anyone has designed assets for social media, working with designers, sometimes you've got to send it out and you're like, hey, I need this back in, 4 or 5 different sizes. And at this point, this is one of the really cool things about AI is that it's going to make your job easier for you. And this is one of those features in Adobe Express. So here we have it. I'm going to change it back to Instagram stories because that's the size I was using it for. Here we have it banner size. And then this one is the one on YouTube. If you're streaming in from YouTube, this is the banner that you saw. And this is a really cool feature too in Express is that you get to have a bunch of different pages and add them to the same project so you can keep track of everything and immediately size things to fit your needs. I love it. It made this event super easy for me. It made this event like I didn't have to have another person doing my social media for me. It's just me. And this just made that super easy and super fun. So please make sure you check that out. Also, as you can see, I'm under the brand. Again, we kind of talked about that a little bit, but I'm under the brand All Black Creatives, and that is why my logo is there in the bottom. And then here are all of the separate assets for my flyer. This makes it super easy. I can kind of slide the image too and use different parts of it because this image is actually pretty large and I have it sized. But once you hit add to background, that's what gives you the ability to easily move it around. This is quick, you guys. This is one of my favorite things about Adobe Express is that you can make things quickly. And if you're a small team, if you're a small brand, if you are an influencer or just somebody who likes to create content and keep track of it, edit it nicely without having to send it off to a design team, this is literally the way to go. And then for sure, being able to apply your brand to any image, I'm here for it. It makes my life easier. It's super fun and very excited about that. Now that I've been able to share with you guys how I designed all of that and you had a sneak peek of our guests, please let me know if you have, any questions? Yes. Is there a desktop version as well? There is a desktop version. That's what you just saw me, or do you mean like downloaded? Do you mean like mobile version? So it's online, and I also use it on mobile, but it's not like Premiere Rush, for example, where it's going to live in your desktop. It does live in the browser. But yeah, I think it works pretty well. And please let me know if you guys have any questions about Adobe Express. I'll send you guys all of the links to download it and use it if you're not using it yet. But yeah, I'll take like a second for questions before we jump in and get to chat with Liv and Kim. Okay, cool. Well, really quickly in the chat, then I'm going to drop the links to the Adobe Express and then also the logo maker. And for all of my friends who are not in this chat, you will also get this if you signed up via email. I've got an email going out to all of you. And bam, there we have it. Okay, here we go. Hello, hello, Kim. Hi, Liv. Please introduce yourselves properly. I'd love for everybody to know who you are, know your name, and yeah, let's jump in.
I'll go first.
Yeah.
Hi, everyone. I'm Kim, and I'm a designer and artist as well, and a content creator sharing a lot of content around AR, AI, and developing creative technologies. And I'll stop there and I'll popcorn it over to Olivia.
That was so quick.
Kim, you're
Love
not
it.
doing yourself justice. Her content
Yeah.
is amazing. She teaches people how to use all this emerging tech, all this latest software, and that's how I found her on Instagram. Just incredible. But me, I am an art director and digital designer. I'm often experimenting with emerging technologies, so like AR, Unreal Engine, mainly 3D and motion graphics. And I'm somewhere between the intersection of spirit, art, and technology. So I'm always trying to find a crossover between spirit and tech, and trying to mirror my ideas when I'm exploring emerging technologies. I work in advertising as an immersive art director and designer. And outside of that, I'm exploring art and my ideas. And I try to be as experimental as possible personally. And that's why I get to push my personal boundaries.
Thank you for that. Oh my God. Okay, I have a question. Liv, you just said at the intersection of spirit and tech. What do you mean? Explain.
Okay, so for me, my belief is okay, straight in there, deep. um, for me, like I believe that God is the best, most incredible creator, and God created all these complex systems, and us as humans have kind of, in a way, mirrored that through this tech that we're evolving through the things and the systems that we build. And for me, I try to take this journey inwards, and reflect on my own inner making, my own way of thinking, the things that made me me. And I try and see how technology can mirror that or complement that or help me to delve deeper on my journey as a human being. I'm It's really important to me because I feel like with the way technology evolves so quickly, sometimes we could get lost in the abyss of where do you start? What do you do? Is this even helpful for my life? Like another thing to learn, especially as a creator. So for me, the thing that grounds me is that purpose of how can this positively impact me or other people? How can this be used as a tool for helping me see the world a little bit more clearly, helping me see myself, helping me to have more empathy, helping me to connect with other people. And art is, I guess, the perfect bridge for that because you're allowed to be expressive and have fun and be playful with art. So art bridges that tech exploration and the spirit side of things.
Wow.
I love that.
Yeah. That was great. I actually appreciate the deep dive. That's very cool. That's very interesting too because um, I know a lot of people who are also spiritual are actually have the opposite stance. They're like afraid of AI, like in the sense of like, what is this like thing that's like what's behind it, you know? And so like that's one of the really cool things I feel like I see in the videos that you do, Kim, it's just like the practicality too of like, here's how AI is like awesome and helpful like in real life. And like I just think it's really awesome, Liv, you just talking about like the merge between, your own spirituality and then like your belief in AI, and just like it could be a complicated subject and topic for people who are spiritual and who aren't, and everywhere in between alike. So I think that that's like a really interesting like point of view in this whole conversation.
Definitely, especially because art is so big and it is whatever you make it. And so it's so personal.
Yeah.
And that's where it gets hard to draw any which line, because if that's your definition of it, then who's to say otherwise? That's how we have so many great movements and periods in art history and such. So I love that. I love how you explained uh, sort of your artist statement, Olivia.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yes,
Yeah,
100%.
I think that these this emerging technologies, AI, it's tools for us essentially, and I feel like we can use it in any which way that we choose. And I feel like when we're able to really like put on our unique perspective and use it with this AI or emerging technology, then something really exciting can come out of it. Something that could potentially be useful for everybody could come out of it. And it's been really interesting to see how people are using these tools like Chat GBT and all these other like Midjourney and all these things. For me, I just asked it so many different questions. I almost use it as a PA. Any question I have, like, regarding like AR and like just anything, I would like feed it into Chat GPT, and it was like really interesting, the responses. But that was just a reflection more so of me. And it's almost like the tool like mirrored back to me, like my thinking and like what I could get out of the tool was a reflection of what I fed into the tool, it felt like. So that's why I was always really cool to see how people were like delving into this software, this tech.
Yeah, I also love seeing how people use tools like Midjourney and other AI,
Mm.
mainly Midjourney, but definitely a lot of other AI image generators to recreate past stories, or just like put themselves in history in different ways that we just never have seen it before in our textbooks, in traditional images. And it's like, for example, I think there was someone took Harry Potter series and plugged themselves into it, like in an 80s theme, and they were perhaps Asian. And I thought that was incredible. I was like, that's hilarious. You can totally rewrite these things and just like change the narrative. And I think that's fascinating because oftentimes that's what we need to see. And it's beautiful that it just takes someone to create that image, to create then that story for themselves. And I think it's fascinating when, for me, for example, plugging myself into some of these AI image generators, because it's one, it can be really hard to get specific, and that takes some learning, like what makes a good prompt, how do you get like specific things that you're looking for.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. I found with the prompts, and that's why I said it was almost like a reflection of me. I realized that I wanted to ask better questions. And how do I ask better like questions? How do I prompt how do I use this like chat GPT in order to kind of get the information I want to get using like strong prompts? And that became a whole other section in itself, where you started to see people teaching you how to speak to this machine, speak to this chat GPT. And I feel like that's really cool because sometimes like with our imaginations, like we haven't seen all of these things before. We like sometimes it's like if you haven't seen it, you don't almost know how to imagine it. So it's like when you start to almost stretch almost like the confines of your imagination, these tools
Hmm.
become really exciting. And that almost starts with the questions. Like what are my interests and how do I ask the question in a way that gives me an interesting answer? And how do I collaborate with my brain, my interests, my source, my spirit with this piece of interesting software that's pulling from all of these different sources? Like, how do I use this as a collaborative partner?
Yeah.
So yeah, that prompt side of things I think is
Not for nothing, all of these tools, I hear one of my art teachers in the back of my head who's like, um, don't let the tools decide for you. But we are still at the very beginning of the development of all of these tools. That's why they're all so free, and it's worth exploring like what their outputs are, and then growing from there. And I'm not here to say that there's a right process for how you create anything, but it's definitely been exploratory to just see like, yeah, what does that prompt put out, and how does that
Yeah.
change? And like what it closest the closest thing that it reminds me of is like when we let's say I'll put in a prompt and it generates an image and I'm like, you know what? I didn't really see it that way in my head. Let's change a color or like, add something else to it. And I kind of link it back to when we reminisce on a memory. Every time we think back on a memory, it changes. And
Huh.
and
This is
so
true.
yeah, something changes because we grow further and further away from the actual date that we had that memory. And I think that that's how I feel now sometimes when I create images with some of these prompt editors, with these image generators, that we are that much in control of just like prompting something and then going ahead and editing it. And then we have four versions of something really similar, but like with minor tweaks. And I think it's a really interesting time to have these close images right side by side, just created by AI.
yeah.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Okay. I feel like I want to see some visuals from y'all. Like, I am sitting here with two incredible visual designers and AR. Also, Liv, I know you do some really cool like 3D, and I want to see what you guys are up to. If you can, if you would like, I think we'd all love to see some of the things that you guys have created. Not to put you on the spot, but totally to put you on the spot.
I'd be happy to take you through some of um let's see. Oh, I've got one of my pieces behind me. So this is from my Night Flower series that I need to go back to. And essentially it's my excuse just to make beautiful flowers, or attempt to try and make beautiful flowers. And it's also really healing for me because the first time I created a night flower was with my dad. So I sketched out a flower and he rendered it, and made it 3D and made it float with all these different bubbles and stuff. So I thought, let me like continue on that project, with just me. So he started it and I'm just kind of like continuing on. And that's a big theme within my work. I really love to explore nature and how that looks digitally. I'm aiming to make nature look more surreal because I don't know if I've never seen a flower like this in real life, but it just made me happy. So how do I like collaborate my imagination with like flowers and nature and the things that I see in this life. So yeah, what can I share with you?
First of all, that was beautiful. So thank you for sharing that. I love that you did collaborative art with your dad. Like, that is wild. That's so cool.
And it's super, super beautiful too. It's definitely surreal. Like,
Thank you. Okay, I need to go through system preferences and unlock this. So I
Oh,
just
those
checked.
are always the most. Honestly, take your take your time. It's sometimes I'm like, oh yeah, cool. I can't do anything in this browser. That's fine. That's fine. Um, yeah, Kim, if you want to share some stuff in a little bit too, I know I'm putting you on the spot a little for that too, but prep, get it ready.
Trying to think. I am working on some stuff right now that I can't share, but
That's fair.
however, let me I think, let's see. I also am a big fan of flowers. Um, let's see how I can share this one. One moment, hold on. Let me see if I can find it.
Um,
Actually, I had a question for you too, Kim, like how you actually got into UI. I know some of your background too is in UX design. Like you've got a lot of skills. And so I'm curious how like you found your way into the AI space and even like the AR space too.
Yeah, funny enough, my background, my first degree, my associate's degree is in photography. So I was in photography for
Okay.
like a good amount of years. And, but I was always creating like mixed media art, as I would say, like just transfer digital art, lots of things like that, photo transfers, different types of. I've always been experimenting
Mhm.
and learning. And my bachelor's degree is in something called digital media, um, which just means you learn a lot of different things. And it's quite frankly that, and very much me. And after that, I was honestly freelancing for a good amount of time as a
Mhm.
photographer, as a graphic designer, and always looking to upskill and see what's most marketable. Um, there was a period of time where I did come across like coding is the most beneficial thing for your business, and I was freelancing, and of course, I wanted to be more marketable. And through that, I found UX, and so officially. I do a lot of product design work, but I do freelance on the side and I create AR filters, of course, creating a lot of content, and I never stop learning. That is the one thing that definitely has stayed the same. And I made my way into AI really just by the emergence of all of these things. And it's for me, I've never let go of creating digital art and art in general. But my strong tie is with digital and technology. So I definitely kept that up. And so I'm going to try to share my screen. I didn't share this yet. So this isn't, it isn't huge, but let me see if I can share. Let's see. Uh-oh. Entire screen.
It's
Okay.
totally okay.
Everyone's on my screen.
All right, yeah. There
Yeah.
you are.
This is made with Kyber, and I might be messing up the pronunciation. Fine, but it is your text to sort of animation kind of generator, and I was playing around with it with some of the ready prompts that they have on screen, and this is something that came up and was created, and it was incredible to me. I thought we're moving so fast. I can't wait to explore this further. But I recommend you trying it out. Let me see if I can play this again. Hold on. Um, yeah. It's super easy to use. You can do you can add music to your animation as well. And honestly, this is the first thing I made from it. I have yet to go back. So I've been out of office ish for a bit. But I'm super excited for this tool, and just like I love it. It's very futuristic. It's sort of from the box, but can't wait to dig into this a little bit more.
It's beautiful. I love it. It's just like, I feel like, where am I? Like, where in the world is this piece?
Yeah.
Kim, what was the process for using Kyber? How did you use this to get this image?
Yeah. Honestly, let's see if I can do something off the. It's really simple. Like, let me see if I could bring my login here.
Because
Okay.
I'm wondering, do you feed in an image and it animates?
So you can do quite a. So I'm on the freemium tier for this. So let's just try and create something. You click create video, and you could start with an initial inspiration image, which I'm like, awesome. So if you have a style in mind, wonderful, you can plug it in and it will start from there. Or if you just want to go ahead and skip to using a prompt, fine. And they sort of this is really insightful. So this is the general setup of a prompt, right? This you might want to set up like what you type out. So you choose any one of these options here. You can type your own. These are definitely like a template version. They're just like kind of start here and see what you make of it. And for the animation I chose, I literally chose a futuristic cyber city. I'm pretty sure of it. And then you hit continue. You choose your art style or you type in your own. Let's see. That's lengthy. And then, yeah, so it's very refined, I would say, versus stable diffusion. You have to go through like so many steps and handles and stuff like that. So this is what makes me excited about text to animation in this kind of sense, because it's there are steps involved, but it's a bit more guided. And it's a better user experience versus seeing Google Colab notebooks and you're just like, I don't know what the heck this means. And I've been there. So it would take a little bit of time. You choose your aspect ratio and you hit generate, and then that's pretty much it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's just it almost feels like a step further from image generation with AI. So it's almost like a step further from a Midjourney where it generates images. This now is starting to evolve it to moving visuals.
Yes. So I would say this probably is utilizing stable diffusion in the background. It's just the UI that we see here is a lot friendlier. You can make animations already with stable diffusion, but the truth is there is a learning curve. As you all know, it is ugly to look at
There's
Google
such a
Collab.
learning curve.
Yeah, there's such a learning curve, and you can make animations now, but you're gonna have to put in certain prompts for like what you want to change at what time in your animation. And it's possible to do it outside of Kyber, but it is a little bit more tedious. That's what I would say. Yeah, Kyber is like the friendlier version of allowing us to do that in general. Yeah.
I wanted to give. Oh,
Oh
sorry.
no.
I was gonna say, Liv, I wanted to give you a minute to see if you wanted to try and share anything else. I know we're like running short on time, and I want to make sure that if you have any visuals that you want to share, that you get a chance to share them. And oh my gosh, we're gonna need to do like a part 2 of this because who can talk about AI, AR, future of tech, all of this in like such a tiny window. We have to do another part 2. But if you have anything you want to share with us, Liv, totally open.
I've got two things that I could quickly take you through. So this is me trying to use a traditional medium, which is a book, and add a layer of AR on it. So the medium of the book that I used was this Rihanna coffee table book. And it was my mission to see Rihanna's face move or interact with me because I'm a big Fenty fan. And I thought, how can I feel a little bit more closer to Rihanna with this item that I have in my house, which is this book? So I thought, what if she came to life? what if when I used my phone, her eyes started to blink, my music started to play. So bitch better have, oh sorry, I saw, but bitch better have my money starts playing. And you just see previews of the images inside, like flicking through on the outer surface of the book. So this was me just kind of thinking like, how can I make this look real futuristic? Like, because books, they they age, they become dated. So if a coffee table book with Rihanna's images on it are going to become dated, to when she last was able to put an image in it. So I was kind of thinking, how do you extend the longevity of the book? So when you scan the book, you see all of Rihanna's recent images, so her pregnancy, what she's, so it's almost like into updating life. So I was just thinking about that process. And I just thought, yeah, book turns into screen. I saw a lot of screen visuals inside the book. So I thought, how can I make this into almost like a window into a screen? So I started to research, flesh out some images that Rihanna already has. And then I started to use this software. Jesus, it's completely escaped my mind. But essentially, you upload the image into this software, and it then starts to make the face come to life. So all of a sudden, like let's say you've uploaded a picture of your grandma when she was a teenager into the software, and all of a sudden her eyes start blinking, she starts smiling at you, she'll stick her tongue out at you.
Wow.
Just by using this pitch. And I was really inspired. There was a point in time where everybody seemed like was doing this with really old historic pictures. They were suddenly bringing these figures to life through this technology. So I thought, okay, I could do this with this Rihanna photo. But a couple issues I found, because the image in the front has this huge logo on it. And the image isn't available on Google. I had to like retouch the image, the logo away, just to kind of have this clean over here. And it was a whole process. It was really fun. But in the end, I had something like this. And if you want to see like that process like play out, I've made like a little video with my voice. I'm speaking about it, which is kind of cringe to hear back. But I just speak more about the details of that research process and image coming to life. So yeah, that was a really cool project. And for me, like I think
so dope.
Thank you, having that advertising background that I have, I kind of went in with the mindset of how do I extend the product's longevity. So you buy a product and it still has, and it's almost has an extended value, if that makes sense. So it's not something that you just have, the novelty wears off and you just kind of forget about it, but you could always like go back to it if you're a fan. And yeah, so that was that project. Another project that is a recent one.
Yes.
Named Digital
Please
Vessel.
talk about this. You're meta human.
So this is another example of me like experimenting with like, what's out there, which is metahuman. I've been obsessed with Daz 3D. It's Daz 3D, Daz Studio, where you just create avatars, and metahuman is like the realistic version of an avatar. Like you see the texture of the skin, like it just looks so realistic. There's so many different aspects that you could easily like control, and you could just be a newbie and just tweak things. It's almost like Sims. So I recorded a lot of behind the scenes footage of me just experimenting with this metahuman. And I decided to just make it into a movie, like a 1 minute little movie. And again, like embedding a lot of my perspective of consciousness, of a perspective on the body, and the matrix, and how do you know, like, I don't know even how to explain it really quickly. But I was just researching this book named Glitch Feminism, and it really speaks about going beyond the confines of the body. And with metahumans, with avatars, with us being so integrated into the digital, it's almost like that's that opportunity to really go beyond the body to be really boundless. And I just thought, what would that look like in a really fun and playful way? In this kind of meta-human form? Would she wake up and, she doesn't know if she's really herself or not? Yeah, I could do a better job of explaining it, but not today. But I've written a whole magazine zine description of what this digital avatar, digital vessel is all about. And it's a really fun tool to play with, like MetaHumans. So I recommend.
Y'all are in the future, okay?
I love this. I love how it says Facebook would like to access your heart rate.
These are
Oh
all my
gosh.
references. This is literally all my inspiration. Matrix, glitch, feminism, who are you? That reflective journey. How can we use avatars to help us understand more of who we are? Our perception, like what shapes our perception, and how can avatars help in that process of like understanding and refining our perception? The channel is blocked, so like I guess a nod to just the things within ourselves that are blocked that we need to unblock and work on. And again, like Facebook, the obvious one, Facebook would like to access your heart rate as things become more integrated. We are becoming more and more like our avatars. So our how we project ourselves online, the avatars we use, the personas that we build, like we're becoming more and more that. And how can we become more conscious in that process as we begin to spend more and more of our lives on the interwebs, using this technology, AI, and all this other emerging technology.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Yeah, and just really quickly, last project. This was for Adobe, for their festival, and I created a 360 filter, so it fully immerses you into your environment. When you move your camera around, the environment completely changes. And I was just thinking about, what does self-care look like in the digital realm, in the digital space? It's definitely a project I want to like revisit and stuff, because it was super like time frames like rushed and stuff. But but it was really fun to think about what that looks like, and I just really had fun with like what I put in this space. Like I wanted it to be a self-care hub for creatives. So reminding you about, your process is important, and there's no creativity without failure, and do what you love. And I wanted it to be like, when you enter this space, or this filter, you're creatively replenished. So Adobe's Creative Hub is facilitating that process of you're becoming creatively replenished. So yeah, this
Beautiful.
That's
how
so
it looks
beautiful.
Oh, wow.
but I'm definitely going to revisit a 360 filter. So yeah, it's really cool using these tools to kind of delve in and investigate my interest in that way.
Wow.
For sure.
That is absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. Oh, I think we lost Liv totally for a second, but she'll be back. She'll be back. But wow, that was incredible. Oh, there she is.
Yeah,
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for walking us through that. That was
Yes, thank
epic.
you.
The two of you are beyond talented. I'm so happy that we're getting to chat. Also, I put here in the chat for everybody, there's a Notion document, which we didn't even get to talk about, but it's got literally both of your links to your website, like little cool examples of your work, people to connect with you. It's got the link to the replay for this, which will be on YouTube. It's got so many resources and links to things like Midjourney, and I mean, just all of the tools for everyone who may have missed that. I'm so excited that I got the chance to chat with both of you. You're incredibly inspiring. I think it's very fitting, today being International Women's Day, that we just got to, and I didn't even plan that on purpose. It was just amazing that I wish I could say that I did, but truly it was just like
You
the
did.
best. No, I did. There we go. I just really appreciate both of you, and I appreciate your timing. I'm excited to have you both back again soon so we can chat about all the things. Thank you, everybody who's rewatching this. Please still leave your comments. If you have any questions, you can write to me. It's just Danielle at allblackcreatives.com. If you have any questions for either of our speakers today, again, their links are in the Notion doc. But if either of you want to say anything, tell people where to follow you, find you, the whole deal.
Um, yeah, oh no, I just want to say thank you so much, Danielle, for
Aw.
creating this space, for inviting me on to speak with Kim. Oh my gosh. Kim, it was a pleasure like listening to you and speaking with you. And just just sharing the space with you both. Like you're both really amazing.
Yeah.
How to find me? Through Instagram or my website, which is named Studio Live, so Studio Live dot design. And I could write that in the chat as well, just in case I was confusing names.
Yes. Drop it in the chat for the people.
All of the names, give them all.
That's right.
Yeah, I
Please.
just wanted to say thank you so much, Olivia. You brought up some amazing topics that I was like, we don't have enough time to discuss.
I know.
The just the implementations of how we could re-envision or reimagine beauty through AR, AI, what that might look like for yourself for the future. It's just that is a whole can of worms that I think deserves its own conversation, but it's interesting. And Danielle, Chris, thank you so much for having me. It was wonderful sharing the space with Olivia as well. She's a wonderful creator. And yeah, I hope we could do this again. Of course, you could find me. My socials are my first name's Kim, my last name's Alvin, TikTok, Instagram, and sometimes Twitter, but not really.
Oh man, I feel that. Thank you both so much again. I think I see some of your info in the chat. There we go. But I just popped it in there again just in case. But thank you guys all so much again. Thank you both for your time. I appreciate you so much. We'll be talking to you soon. Thank you again, everybody who joined in. I hope you guys all have a really great rest of your day. Thank you, Liv. I know it's like crazy late where you are right now. So appreciate you. Um, thank you all. Have a good evening. Bye. Again, everybody, if you need connections to either of the speakers, if you need any questions answered about either Adobe Express or embedding AI into your workflows, please let me know. You can email me at Danielle at All Black Creatives. You can also leave a DM. Our DM's on Instagram, and that's just at All Black Creatives. I appreciate you all so much. Thank you again for joining us, and I will see you guys at the next ABC Studio session. Bye.